Bitcoin is trading around $87,000. It welcomed us to December with a massive $3,000 dump. I kind of want to discuss what I think is going on and how I think this first week is going to play out and what I think is going to be sort of the trend, I think, in December going into the new year. So obviously, I've been calling for a little bit of a relief rally coming off the back of like a massive just liquidation event. And we did kind of get that over the last couple weeks, but obviously we had a very ugly weekly close, very ugly monthly close in my opinion. And so there's a lot of speculation as to what's going to happen next. Now, obviously a lot of people that are believers of the 4-year cycle are probably going to tell you that the 4-year cycle is over, which is going to create a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt when it comes to the whole cryptocurrency market. Obviously we've had MicroStrategy FUD today, we've had Tether FUD today. Basically, it was announced that MicroStrategy is technically able to sell their Bitcoin in specific market conditions. This isn't really confirmed yet by Michael Saylor, but he also did hint that he's going to be buying today. So he's putting a little bit of a twist, showing like a green dot, which is something we haven't seen before. And so there's a lot of speculation as to what that kind of means. Now, the second kind of FUD is this whole Tether sort of questionable actions against like Tether. They're basically the main stablecoin company where they have like gold on their balance sheet. They have what are they called? Treasury bills, all this kind of stuff, right? Not to mention they also hold Bitcoin. And so there's just a lot of uncertainty when it comes to like all this kind of stuff, right? And I think that every single cycle, whenever we have Tether FUD, that's usually some sort of bottom signal. But I think that with where we are in the market, I think it's too soon to tell. And everything is just kind of hitting us from all angles right now, right? Like it's just mass fear. Not to mention that we have obviously the end of quantitative tightening that's supposed to be happening tomorrow, which is historically kind of bullish, but short term it has a little bit of a downturn and it kind of takes a while to kind of, play out. Trump also announced that he is pretty certain of who his next Fed chair is going to be, replacing Jerome Powell. And it's highly speculated that it's going to be Hassant, who is a Coinbase executive advisor, if I'm not mistaken. He's also really pro weak dollar. He wants to basically print us out of this whole sort of like pain that the market's kind of going through. He's in favor of low interest rates and, like I said, weaker dollar. So that should have a positive outlook for the next year, but obviously he's not going to he's not going to be appointed until probably like May, if not like June, because there's no meeting in May, if I'm not mistaken. So I do think that we have some tailwinds kind of going for us in the bull corner, but I think short term, things look very choppy. I've always called for, downsides towards like the lower 80 range. If we lose $75,000, that would be a very bad sign, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us go down, maybe go below that, right? Not too ready to call that just yet, but those are my kind of line in the sand, kind of technical standpoints, right? Because that's where we would lose the bullish trend on the monthly candle. So I think that if we can somehow keep this as a higher low on the overall macro scale, holding above like $80,000, I think that could be okay. Now, December usually is a very weird month because it's the end of the year. There's a lot of like tax harvesting kind of strategies. Sometimes like if you're like a 4-year cycle believer, then usually the cycle, Bitcoin has topped out. And so I think it's going to kind of really depend on how things go. Historically speaking, the first move is usually put in the first week of December. So I think that if we put in some kind of low early on, then that would maybe paint the way for a bullish outlook for December. However, if we somehow like rally first, which is not the case so far, then that could be a little bit cautionary, because usually what happens is you get the inverse move, right? And, we're coming off the back of 2 very bearish months in a historically very bullish time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us have a pump in December. That's still in the camp that I'm in. But short term, things look very choppy. Things are very uncertain. And I think things are going to play out over the next week. And it's going to be very telling. So make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you turn on your bell notifications, because everything is very time sensitive. And yeah, just wanted to update you guys with what I think is going to happen. So to summarize, there's a big meeting tomorrow with Jerome Powell. He's going to speak with the Fed. We have the announcement of quantitative tightening, I think, also going to happen. Want to pay attention to the, short-term targets for Bitcoin. Like I said, if we can hold above the $80,000 range, I think that things are still intact. And if we're going to pump higher into December, then we need to find some kind of low within this first week and then trade up from here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for in the short term. So again, hope you're subscribed. I'll see you all soon and update you guys as soon as possible. See you all soon. Bye.